It's a good Friday, but it's a great Bat X release show coming up for everybody. It's going to be a busy one, and he's catching a little bit of momentum now, Derek Carty, after a little bit of a up and down opening week. Winners on Monday, winners on Wednesday. Robbie Ray, a no-doubter. That's about as easy as it gets, as we saw on Wednesday.
Yeah, Robbie Ray. I mean, I said it on the show. It had an 80% chance of hitting. It really wasn't in question the whole game, it looked like. So, nice to get one of those under our belts.
I think we have the potential to add a couple more to the belt, so to speak, as today, if you're used to jumping off after the first bet, as soon as you see the bet goes in and we get to the analysis and that's where you jump off, you may want to stick around a little bit because there is a little bit of excitement going on today, but all of the usual faces in the channel already for what looks to be a record show for viewers, more than 250 people waiting before we got going. But Jake is in, Michael Kersey, Derek Vanderwall, Matt Berger, all of the usual faces that we see on the release show. So thank you for joining again. For all of you that may be joining us for the first time, let's run through what we're doing here before we get to a busy Friday release show. So Derek Carty and the Bat X projections are as good as they get when it comes to MLB props and MLB player projections. And so if we were just to give out the bet all at once and say, here's what we're betting on today, nobody's going to be able to get the numbers because these prices move as soon as they're given out. First of all, because the projections have the influence that they do, but also because there's a lot of people watching the show and we're all betting together. So we follow the Bat X release procedure, which is a couple steps that we follow one by one. So everybody can go through, get to the spot at the same time, add the bet to the bet slip, and click submit at the same time. So here's how it works. I'll tell you what game we're betting. That's your cue to open your sportsbook app, find the game, go through, and get ready to continue on. Then I'll tell you the prop market we are betting on. That's your cue to find that prop market, go through, and I'll tell you what team we're betting on so you can focus in on the player. We'll give everybody about 10 seconds. I'll tell you what the player is, who Derek is betting today, and then everybody will be in a rush to get that into the bet slip. So it's a step-by-step as we go, and we'll be ready with, I'll say it now, more than one release today. And so, Derek, as we get going, safe to say today, I think we're picking on BetMGM a little bit. So if everybody has BetMGM, that would be the best book to have up right now. Is that fair to say?
Yep. That's where we're seeing a lot of these lines at and some of the better lines. So yeah, BetMGM.
Fantastic. So if you have MGM, get the app ready. But we will start with the first release of the day. And we'll begin with the game, which is the New York Yankees on the road at the Baltimore Orioles. So we're starting with the Yankees-Orioles game. We'll give everybody 10 seconds to find Yankees-Orioles as we start with the first release. And again, if you have BetMGM, that would be the ideal place to do this, but you can find the prices a couple different ways. So a couple more seconds to find Yankees-Orioles. The prop market, which we will be betting today, is player home runs. So it is a home run prop on a player. For those of you in the chat, jumping to conclusions that it is a strikeout prop. It is not. We're looking for player home runs. So you can go to the player prop tab and find the list of players set to yes or no for a home run. So we'll give everybody a couple more seconds to find player props and home runs. For this bet specifically, we will be looking for a New York Yankee player. So if you have different sorts or the way that things are, some go team by team. BetMGM does it really well side by side, but you might be scrolling through on your phone. So you're going to be looking for a Yankees player. So if you're scrolling through, settle in for the Yankees. And we'll give everybody 5 more seconds here before we get to the bet. The bet to start off a very good Friday is Giancarlo Stanton to hit a home run plus 400 on the yes. So we're betting on Stanton to hit a home run. Price at MGM is actually a little bit better than plus 400, plus 425, which is why we were circling them out as the book to target here. If you're in the chat, let us know, where were you betting? What price did you just get on a Stanton home run? And as we mentioned, when the show is as busy as it is, these props go in a hurry. So let us know in the chat what you were able to get on Stanton home run, plus 400. Derek, what had you looking at Stanton to hit a home run this afternoon or this evening?
Yeah, the line just looks too low. Something to keep in mind with these home run props, because we haven't done one of these yet. This prop is more likely to lose than it is to win. So keep that in mind. But when these home run props hit, you're going to make up for your losses. So Stanton, the line, you're getting about 4-1. The fair line, the bad X says should be about 3-1. So there's value here. I think part of this, I've seen this a little bit over the last few days with these games in Camden Yards. Camden Yards pushed the fences back this year and raised them. And it seems like the prop market has almost overcorrected for this, like treating it as it's going to be like this extreme pitcher's park when it projects more neutral. The bad X has been more or less in line with the game lines on it, but not necessarily with the home run props. So I think we haven't seen a lot of home runs there yet, but I do think mathematically that should be the expectation. So especially a guy like Stanton, where fences don't matter as much because his power is just massive, facing, a bad pitch to contact guy in Jordan Lyles today. Good chance for contact, good chance for it to go a long way. I like the odds on Stanton here.
On your Twitter feed, which everybody should be following, to start the season, you had a brilliant thread about the fences at Camden Yards and how that would impact. So it's interesting that now into the first week, we're starting to see some markets maybe over adjust, as you mentioned. So some definite value here on Stanton. They hit the home run, and it looks like a lot of people were able to get the 4-1 or better. We were seeing plus 450 on PointsBet from a couple guys, plus 425 at Bet Rivers. Derek Vanderwall got 400 on the Prop Builder. Ian Highland was 475 on Caesars, so that was big too. So a lot of people were able to get that 4-1 on Stanton to hit a home run. Continuing on with the second release for Friday, the next game that we are going to look at targeting is the Tampa Bay Rays at the Chicago White Sox. So I'll give everybody a couple seconds. First time we've had more than one release on the show. We'll keep everybody guessing as we go forward every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. But the next game we're looking at is Tampa Bay, Chicago. And again, you're going to find the best number for this one at BetMGM. They are a little bit behind things this morning, to put it lightly. But as we saw in the chat, people were able to get the last one at a number of different places. So we'll start with Tampa Bay at Chicago is the game that we are looking at next. We'll give everybody one more second before we get into the prop market. The prop market for Tampa Bay Chicago is pitcher strikeouts. So we're going back to Derek's favorite, pitcher strikeout markets. And we'll do things a little bit differently here as we've gone with the last few releases. When we get to a pitcher prop, we give up the team. We're not going to do that. We'll just give everybody an extra couple seconds to get to pitcher strikeouts, and then I'll come out with the bet as people were starting to jump ahead. So we'll see if this allows everybody to get to the number at the same time a little bit better. So 5 more seconds to find pitcher strikeouts for Tampa Bay and Chicago, and I will tell you the bet in just 1 second. The bet in this one is Dylan Cease under 7.5 strikeouts. That's playable at minus 150. Dylan Cease under 7.5, minus 150. Derek, people are going to be looking at this and saying it's a big number, it's a big price, but this is exactly where you were at with Robbie Ray on Wednesday, and you love that one a lot. So as people are betting this, let us know in the live chat. Where were you betting it? What odds were you getting? What did you see? And more specifically, Derek, what did you see with Cease under at 7.5? I know you really like this one.
Yeah, this one shows similar not quite as good as Robbie Ray, but it's a similar situation where the bat is projecting under 6 strikeouts and the line is 7.5. So even though you're laying money, this still projects to win 73% of the time, which is really good. Not quite as many things working in Cease's favor as there were for Ray, but this is still, it feels like a recency bias line. Like Cease had a really good first start. He put up, I think, 8 or 9 strikeouts, but it was against the Tigers. He's facing a much better offense than the Rays today. They're getting a big park upgrade. They're not especially strikeout prone, and their home park of Tropicana is one of the best in baseball for strikeouts. So all of their kind of strikeout rates that you look at on Baseball Reference or FanGraphs or whatever are going to be a little bit inflated relative to what they're going to do outside of Tropicana because Tropicana inflates strikeouts so much. So
Love it.
It's also just a big line for this early in the year. Like Dylan Cease only threw 79 pitches in his first start, so he should be able to get up into the mid to high 90s today. But he's not going to go like super deep. He's not going to be throwing over 100 pitches unless he's just really efficient. So it's just for this early in the year, I think the number is just too big.
We've seen a lot of people be able to find the minus 150 at MGM or other books. People were citing out Betway at minus 125, which was interesting to see. That book get some attention, but other people were able to find that price. But as we saw on Wednesday, Derek, people were looking at 6.5, but around plus 110 or plus 120. It was a similar situation with Ray. And your answer, I assume today, as it was on Wednesday, was for Ray, you had the projection lower than 6. And if you're looking at 6.5 plus money, you're maybe still intrigued at that number too.
Yeah, the projection is 5.94. So if you're getting 6.5 with plus money, you're still probably, you're getting some value there.
Fantastic. So another looks like successful release for a lot of people in the chat. Appreciate everybody letting us know where you bet it. It helps us figure out what's working, what's not, and how we might have to tweak this going forward. And in terms of tweaking and seeing what works going forward, this third release is a little bit different from what we've seen so far, and it might be a little bit difficult for people to find, but we're going to get some judgment here from what you're looking at in the channel. So I'll preface this with it being a player home run prop, but you're going to need a book that has the no. So as we work through it, if you've been betting baseball for the first week so far, and you have a book specifically in mind where you get the yes and the no for home run props, go to that book right now as we start. And this is why we called out BetMGM at the start, as they have both of those offered. So that's an easy one to find, but other books have it too. So as we get going here, just keep that in mind that you're going to need that other side to what we were betting at early. So we'll get to the game now in the release. It is the Los Angeles Angels at the Texas Rangers. This is the Angels and Rangers game for the third release. And remember that we are going to a player home run prop, but you're going to need the no for this one. So someone said in the chat, Bet Rivers also has the no, along with BetMGM. And so you're likely going to find that at Canby Books as well. So we'll give everybody about 10 seconds here to get to Angels, Rangers. And again, we're going to be looking for a player home run on the no. I'll tell you who that player is in just a couple of seconds. So the player we are betting not to hit a home run is Adolis Garcia. So no home run, played at minus 300. BetMGM has a minus 275. People are calling out Bet Rivers. Would love to know what the price was there. Under half a home run is the same market for those asking in the chat. So if you see under half a home run, then that is the exact same bet. But we're betting no home run up to minus 300. People are calling out Pinnacle as well. They always have both sides. So MGM, Rivers, Pinnacle, anywhere else, let us know. Where did you play it? What price did you get? What were you looking at here on Garcia? Derek, it's a big number for a lot of folks, minus 275 to no home run, but a lot of value here showing too.
Yeah, I mean, if you lose this one, it's going to feel bad, and it's going to lose about 20% of the time. But at these odds, it works out. I mean, the implied projection by these numbers are about 0.4 home runs for Adolis today, and that is a huge number. There's not a single player on the entire slate that projects for that great of a chance of hitting a home run, much less Adolis Garcia. Like, he has power, yeah. It's a good matchup, but the matchup almost doesn't even matter here at these numbers because you don't see those kind of odds that often on no home run. And it's just, I mean, the Bats projection is 0.21 home runs here. It's almost double, the implied projection by these lines. So it's just that's really all it is.
So I think this is a good learning lesson for a lot of people betting is it doesn't always have to be a big plus money number for there to be value. You can find that with the bigger prices as well when they're just priced, as you're pointing out here, really ridiculously at this number. So it kind of goes both ways, and people might say, I don't want to lay that much juice or I don't want to pay that price. But the point is it's semi-irrelevant when you're looking on the scale. If you're finding significant value, that can exist at any single number. And so that's I think an important lesson for people out here. Some books posting minus 345 Is that getting to be sort of the high end here, a little bit too high if you're getting away from the 300?
I mean, I start liking it less. I mean, technically I have the break even beyond negative 400. So like, you're still probably okay. But I do, again, you're laying a lot of money to get this. I'd much prefer to get it, negative 275, negative 290, negative 300, something like that.
Yep. Okay. Fantastic stuff. 3 releases today. Got a good judgment on how things ultimately look here throughout all the bets in different markets as we continue to go every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern. We'll keep seeing what works, what doesn't, and tailoring that. The BADX projections are as good as they get, and there's a ton of data coming from them every single morning. So highly recommend everybody checking them out, as well as following Derek on Twitter. Nothing but great information. And as you've seen, things starting to pick up here with wins on Monday, wins on Wednesday. And we've got Stanton to hit a home run at 4-1, Dylan Cease under 7.5 Ks, and then Adolis Garcia not to hit a home run at -300. We appreciate everybody joining us today. Enjoy the Friday, enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you guys back here Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.